Welcome to Force Pro Sports Laserforce podcast with your host, Mr. Mischief.
Laserforce players, welcome to Force Pro Sports. Laser tag is the greatest sport of our modern era. Our dream is to see a Laserforce tournament with players paid professionally, teams sponsored, and lives transformed through our incredible, supportive community. My codename is Mr. Mischief. I'm a laser tag sports analyst who aims to make laser tag presentable and exciting for all. Today, I am joined by Lucidun from the Czech Republic. She has 2,273 missions. She has experience in designing arena artwork, and she is playing in Internationals 2025. Ahoy, Lucidun.
Ahoy, Luke. Good to see you again.
Great to have you on. We had you on a previous podcast of the playbook, and
Yep.
you discussed your experience designing arenas, and I haven't seen you since close to around there, which was Internationals 2023. How have you been?
Pretty good. Moved to Brisbane, tagging with the best of the best, I would say, because, tagging with Rusty, tagging with Tredge as well. I had the honor to tag with Tredge as well. And yeah, working at the HQ side, so kind of another tick on the bucket list.
You have just moved straight to the headquarters of Laserforce, not just for the people who built the whole thing from the ground up, who make the packs and ran the company. But Tragedy and Rusty are, they have the two most missions in the world, and they have the absolute best track record in tournaments globally. So I can't think of a better place to go if you love Laserforce.
Exactly.
We're going to jump in with a quick question today, and we are definitely going to talk about your move to Brisbane and what it's been like to play there and prepare for upcoming Nats. But we're going to start today with a quick question, sponsored by RelicsMerch.com. Visit RelicsMerch.com today to buy some awesome Laserforce swag. Our question comes in from Old Man Thanatos, and he asks, what's your favorite Laserforce memory?
Oh, I would say Nats 2023, but there is one Laserforce memory connected with one of my nicknames. So I think it was my 3 years into playing Laserforce. Now we're counting 7th year. So fresh. And I was playing Color Conquest with some kids, because back then we used to have a kids club. And I was playing Color Conquest with them, 4 targets, 300 square meters, my home base, and at that time, G7. And we were playing. We were getting close to the end. I was like, oh, I might survive this finally, because at that point, I haven't had the achievement never being conquered. And we were trying to defend. I got 3 bases. I didn't know that I missed the last one, which I found out later.
Okay.
And someone somehow, through a reflection, conquered me. I was like, oh my God, whatever. We started returning to the armory. I opened the door, and everyone in the armory was like, yeah. I'm like, what? And then Tremon, which is one of our oldest members, not by age, but, experience. He came to me, he put his arm on my shoulder, and he was like, no, you didn't make it, but we were all cheering for you. And at some point we were like, oh, we're going to grab some packs and we're going to conquer you as well. And I was like, all right. So what was the time? And he was like, it was 46 seconds. And since then, whenever someone mentions 46, I'm like, yeah, are you calling me? Or something like that. And they even changed my nickname to 46 seconds for a while. And even here at the Laserforce Brisbane, when we were working at some point with walkie-talkies, we had a calling sign. Each of us had separate one. And when they asked me, I was like, just go for 46. So that's probably my best memory, or favorite, one of those favorites.
Oh, that's such a fun memory. Color Conquest is a really underrated game, in my opinion. And yeah, that's a fun achievement, getting to go the whole time without being conquered. Yeah, I could definitely see how, you have so many people that seemed to care and notice an achievement that you almost had. I could see why that'd be a special memory for you.
Yeah. And I got a nickname, so.
And you got the nickname. It stuck around for a long time. Oh, that's cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, Lucy.
Happy to.
So if you want to submit a question to one of our guests, leave a comment below. Shout out to our community of Laserforce players joining the fight against bullying. If you donate to our Patreon, one half of your donation goes towards NAPAB, a nonprofit dedicated to the fight against bullying in schools and communities. All people deserve protection from harassment and abuse regardless of who they are. All people matter. Give at patreon.com/Mr. Mischief. All right, first question for you, Lucidun. How did you settle on that code name?
So actually, my mom made up that code name for me a while ago
Really?
at like elementary school, because
Oh,
at that point, one of our teachers was like, "All right, you should create an email address." And I was like, "Huh, what to use? What to use?" And my mom came in and he was like, "Oh, how about Lucidun?" Because in Czech, it's pronounced a bit differently. It's Lucidun, and it's basically my name combined together. So Lucy, well, without the E, and Dun as the first three letters of my surname combined together. So Lucidun,
that
my
makes
name
perfect
basically.
sense. Yeah. It's always so interesting to ask people about their code name. The way we choose them, it varies greatly. I think it's like
Yeah.
tattoos. People get tattoos for so many different reasons, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. The codename thing. I actually had my colleague, one of our supervisors, tell his story the other day. His codename is Transidious, and he was like, "Oh,
That's so dope.
I made it up because I was playing Final Fantasy, so there was like an ability trance. Then the middle or transit, something like that. I kind of missed part of the story, but it was transit, and it was like, all right, so what for the end? Because transit itself is like kind of weird. And he was like, oh, how about Sidious, like Darth Sidious? So he's transit is. Transidious.
I
And
really like
yeah.
it.
And you should see his card because he has his code name on the card written in all like different letters from like different languages. It's interesting.
Absolutely. I just want to say it. Transidious.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's gonna be happy when he's gonna listen to this.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just like what the name means. It also matters. I think one, it also matters what does it sound like? Because some
Yeah,
words sound nice when you say them, and some words sound unpleasant when you say them.
yeah,
I think it's why
definitely.
people don't like when you say moist, for example, because
Oh yeah.
it doesn't feel good coming out of your mouth. But transidious and the way it sounds too, like if you didn't speak any languages and you just heard that sound, it sounds like ooh, give me chills.
Yeah.
Transidious, you
It
know?
sounds badass.
It sounds badass, even if you have no idea what the word means.
Yeah.
Um, all right, Lucy. So behind me, I pulled up Nats 23. I just tried to
Oh
pull up
yeah.
some kind of random footage for the aesthetics, but this
For
is Nats
memories.
23, and this was your first tournament, right?
This is my first international, like the
Here's an
major
internationals
tournament.
tournament, right? Right. Okay. Tell us about internationals 23. How'd you get involved with it, and what were some of your big highlights of that tournament?
So basically, the decision to go to the other side of the world, because Czech Republic, Europe, New Zealand,
Right. This was
was
in New Zealand, by the way.
was kind of, I don't want to say random, but it came in after I stopped like cooperation with my original home site, and I was like, well, at this point, I don't have anything to lose, so why not to go there? And that kind of went hand in hand with the studies here in Brisbane. So everything kind of went together. I'm like, all right, see everyone for at least 3 years. We'll see how it goes. And I went to the internationals. Um, First, I was very surprised that everyone accepted me as I was part of the community forever, which was wow, mind blowing. You see me for the first time ever. I'm almost the youngest one, and you accept me as one of your own. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And one of the other things was that I wasn't homesick, which doesn't happen a lot. And I felt like I'm home basically, which is here as well in Brisbane.
Mm.
I was playing for the Oakleys team, which was kind of hybrid team. It was me, El Diablo from Germany, so we were the two traveling players. Then we had Lone Soul, Hoodlum, Night Owl, and Ducky, and we were also joined by RNT, Rednet Tech, at some
Good
point. So we
memory.
were kind of hybrid team,
Mhm.
let's say it like that. And oh my god, so many good memories. Even though I haven't played NES before and haven't played like proper Space Marines before, because as some of you might know, in Czech Republic we don't play with resets, and our games aren't 7.5 minutes, but 15 minutes in general.
Mhm.
It was something different because I got my butt kicked by resets most of the time because I was like, what, where to go, where to hide. Long story short, this was happening a lot, basically during the week.
Mhm.
But I'm so grateful for like everything that I experienced. Even though there were downs, there was like one major up, which was our very last game. I was playing medic with Owl. He was Mo, and I remember that there was a nuke falling, and we were upstairs. I think we were calling it the nest. I don't remember it that much, but I think it was the nest.
Yeah, we did that little third floor pocket
Yeah,
off
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
ramp. Mhm.
And a nuke was falling. I'm like, all right, guys, I'm gonna get eliminated. I need to resupply all of you. And it happened that almost all of them were like near to me. I was like, bam, 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 bam.
Mhm.
Poor soul wasn't able to rush in for his resupply, but I'm pretty sure Then said it later that this was the resupply that secured our win. Even though I
Oh
died,
my goodness.
even though El Diablo died, almost everyone like survived, and we eliminated the opposing team. So we won our very last game, which was our only win as well.
Oh my goodness. That's so cool that you can go back and you can see I had a significant impact on the game because I made that choice right there.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I bet you feel good about that.
And then like another core memory that I have, technically it was after Nets, but it was still part of the tournament, the random draws after, was when I survived with one life as the
Mhm.
only person in a team. I was watching the clip a couple of days ago because Rockwood was sharing a story on his Instagram, kind of similar one from one of their nights, SM5 nights. And I sent it to him. I'm like, look, this is what happened to me. And DK was commenting it with someone. I think it was Snuffles. I'm not sure, but I remember DK. And they're like 4, 3, 2. And when I survived, they were like, oh, like the meme, like the oh meme. Oh my god, so golden memory as well.
You have a lot of memories that are associated with like the audience watching you, that
Yeah.
that people were cheering you on. And I
Yeah,
don't blame you because those are some of the coolest moments you feel. I mean, when people are in sharing the story with you, the exciting sports moments. Yeah. And that
yeah,
was a cool tournament. I mean, I got to go and play on US East, and that was where I got to meet you. And there was a lot of other fun memories outside the arena, like exploring New Zealand
oh my
and,
god,
just
yes.
hanging out around the city, eating great food.
And then
Um,
going to Rotorua.
yeah, absolutely. And I recall, despite being on a team that, for the most part, wasn't having any wins, you had such a positive attitude.
Yeah,
You have such a love for the game, and you were building really deep connections with the people on your team. I could tell, like, you all were really starting to click and bond. And this is something that will happen in any tournament where you have a team that doesn't have any wins. When you were playing Auckland B, who, with all respect to them, that was the team where most people thought this is where they have a real chance to like take a win. Everyone was cheering for you. We were all just hoping you guys could make it over the edge, and when you did, it was really exciting. I
I mean,
remember,
yeah.
I remember your faces. I mean, it was emotional. It was really emotional for you guys to get that win.
Yeah, it was amazing. And like the fact that everyone was cheering with us, because as I said, I was eliminated by the nuke, but when we were in the lobby, everyone was cheering so hard for us. I'm like, oh my God, this is such a great moment.
Mm-hmm. It was one of those amazing, inspiring sports moments where you persevered and you overcame.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, sportsmanship, I'm still glad that I have
Oh,
this thing because I was so surprised that I won this. But I remember that in
I'm
one of
not.
my com games while playing Nets,
Mm-hmm.
DK was one of the head refs, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the first time that Owl nominated me as com. So I was like, all right, don't expect much, but I'll try my best. And I remember just running around the maze because, I was trying to hide or, just to respawn. And at the end of the game, I got eliminated. I think it was like 17 seconds before the end. I'm like, whatever, it happens. And DK came to me because I was there like trying to find my lungs somewhere in the arena. And DK was like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, just give me a second. I'm trying to find my lungs. And he was like, that was one of the best sportsmanships that I ever seen. And then that point, I was like, what do you mean by sport? I thought, I haven't said it, but I thought, like, what do you mean by the sportsmanship? I just got basically hunted by 5 other people or 6 other people. And then later, at the awards dinner, and after speaking with some people, I realized that it was because I didn't give up. Which some people, even here, are telling me that once your ammo is eliminated, you should basically throw the game to not give the points. On one hand, I understand, but on the other hand, comebacks happen, and you
Mm-hmm.
never know.
Sportsmanship, do you consider it to be a skill that you have to learn, or does it come naturally to people?
I think it's half and a half. I'm always standing behind the principles of sportsmanship, even here when I play the regular members night, not like League SM5, but like we're running Thursdays and Sundays for the public, like 2 hours in unlimited. And when I go and play with them, I am a player who's not aiming to like how to say run them over with my score.
Mm.
So I basically play to reach the average needed for my rank because on level 9 it's like 13k or something.
Mm.
But whenever I hit that score, I completely shut down and let the people shoot me because it will make them feel better a bit because most of the time when they shoot me, they're like, oh my god, I hit that level 9, I hit that person.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, I learned this from our owner, from like my home maze owner, where he told me that once you a pro, well, quote unquote pro, which means level 6 and up, you should know the boundaries when playing with public,
Mm-hmm.
which is play half of what you normally play for tournament and let the people shoot you,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yeah, those are fair rules to have for public play. But when you're in a high level competition like Nats 23, how do you maintain your sportsmanship in a highly competitive setting?
Oh, being an emotional person is sometimes hard, like very hard. Even this Monday, because we're running Nats practice games as well, because we will have 3 Brisbane teams who will be playing. Uh, I remember walking out of one just like straight to the toilet, and I was like, all right, everyone, out of my way, or something will happen to you. And then
Mm.
I locked myself there for a couple of minutes, and I was like, right, it's fine. It's just a practice game. It doesn't matter. And I walked out as a new person. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I need to kind of lock it inside me, even
Mm-hmm.
though everything is going to waste. We're being kicked out of everywhere. We're being smashed. You need to lock it in. Think about the sportsmanship as well, but mostly like how would other people react because it can destroy the team chemistry as well. And then when you're out, just let it out. That's actually what happened in Auckland as well.
Mm.
Whenever I got eliminated early, which happened a couple of times as well when Owl put me on a scout, and I got eliminated like after 3 minutes,
Mm.
I went out and as soon as, I'm pretty sure it was Hoodie, Owl, and Ducky, not in that order, but as soon as one of them were eliminated, they came outside, they saw me, and they're like, "Hey, you go," and I'm like, "I'm not going, I'm not doing good," and tears in my eyes, and they're like, "Oh, it's okay, it's your first Nets. You will get there. It's your first time playing properly. It's your first time playing with rules. It's your first time with the reality of SM5." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to, but and then they hugged me. Oh, I think I might just spoiled it because some of them are like, not tell it anywhere. But sorry, guys, I love you all. So this was a moment for me where I was like, all right, I can trust these people, even though I have never seen them before in my life. I'm part of this community, and I love the people. So yeah,
Oh, I love that. No, it is a personal story. I appreciate you sharing it and talking about it. Can I ask you a bit about Brisbane? 'Cause
sure.
after that tournament, and thank you for sharing about sportsmanship as well. I think it's not. I think important is an understatement. If you don't have good sportsmanship, people don't really want to play with you.
Mm,
It's vital for our community that people recognize it as a skill and prioritize it as a skill. Not like optional. Like people need to be willing to be good sports when they lose.
yeah,
It's just important. Um, but after Internationals 2023, you moved to Brisbane.
yeah.
What was that like? What's it been like playing there?
The move itself at first was a bit rough because it was my very first time, like, taking care of myself. At that time, I just hit, um, I call age levels. So I hit level 22. And I was like, all right, so I'm on the other side of the world without a job and technically without the home. I was thankfully staying with a Czech family, which
Mm.
lives, I think it's like 40 minutes from here. um, I'm currently in Wollongabba, which is where also the Laserforce site is, and it's 20 minutes walk from my current home.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I'm still the first who they reach when they need someone. But back to the beginnings. Thankfully, Troy, shout out to Troy Oda for helping me as well. He was like, "Oh, I live nearby, so I can, pick you up. I can drop you back home as well whenever you want to go somewhere, or
That
I can
guy
show
is
you
so
something."
awesome.
He is such a great guy with a big heart.
Yeah.
So he drove me back from Lasers Mondays, and yeah, I started searching for a house. I started playing League. Another shout out to Chris to Scorpion. He's one of the developers as well.
Hmm.
And he was basically the one who helped me to get the job at the site. So shout out to Chris as well.
Let's go, Chris.
um, So I got a job. Sweet. I still don't have a home, and I have two weeks left. Okay, what am I gonna do? Shout out again to another people, which were the Czech people, which was Martina and Miloš, and they helped me. They put me in contact with one of their former, not tenant, but he was in the same. The guy was in the same situation as me. Basically, came to Brisbane, came to study, and they helped him. So they put me in with him in contact, and I got a place. Yay! So everything started just like ground zero again. Even though you had reputation back home, you built something. You're on the other side of the world, starting ground zero again. Um, and yeah, even though I was like level 8 back home with almost, I think I had like 1,300 games at that point played, which kind of didn't matter because SM5, 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 SM5. I'm like, fine, great. So I started playing SM5 with the rules. We showing the shoulder, which for us smaller people is kind of hard in here in Brisbane because some of the walls are like this, where I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna watch you hidden with my shoulders. I'm just gonna watch you, and then I decide what I'm gonna do. So yeah,
Interesting.
I needed to learn again that if I want to shoot someone off the edge, I need to technically go literally like this.
Hmm.
um, Although I'm still struggling as a 3-hit whenever they're like, hey, go attack the opposing resupply. I'm like, yeah, but then it technically be a chase? And they're like, nah, just go. I'm like, no, I'm not an aggressive heavy or calm. I'm just a defensive one. So most of the people kind of got it now. But sometimes some of them are like, go. I'm like, nah, I'm defending.
Interesting.
And again, I still think it has to do with something with the sportsmanship.
Okay.
Because even though no, I have a story as well. I mean, this is gonna be full of stories.
Please, let's go. That's why I'm here. I would like to get your stories. Let's go.
Sweet.
What story you got?
So we also rev the game. So most of the time it's like, let's say that you play 2 games and then you sit, because we're using the randomizer based on, algorithms and based on your previous scores and stuff. Sometimes lately, it's been happening that whenever we start, I'm the first person who'll be sitting the first game. It's been happening lately more and more. That's one story. The other story is that whenever like someone injures themselves, or it looks like they injure themselves, I'm like the first one who's like, hey, are you okay? And I immediately hang my phaser back and I go help them. Even though I get shot, or, it could put my team lower on the score. I'm like, hey, nah, I get it, but the health of someone is more important. So again, that's the sportsmanship thing. I put like, sportsmanship value and friendship more over than the score and the game itself, which I get it that some of people are like, but you're playing the game like competitively. I'm like, yes, but you also need to find a balance between that, in my opinion, again. And I think it was like 2 months ago that we started a game. We were playing game in 8 people. We have 3 MOs. Now, 2 MOs, 3 scouts. Sorry, it's kind of a lot.
A big chaotic SM5
Yeah.
game. Yeah, I hear you.
And we were running up the green ramp, and my medic ducked under me, or my resupply ducked under me. And as I was going to go past them, she stood up, with all of her strength, he banged me into the chin. I was like, all right. First one was like, all right, blood, nothing. Second one, teeth, good. Third one, am I able to continue? Probably not. Thankfully, Troy was standing near us, reffing, and he was like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know. I might go outside. So, sorry, guys, we need to stop the game because I don't know how I look, what was going to happen. So I came out. I was like, hey, I kind of need some ice. Thankfully, everything's fine. I have all teeth. But at that point, everyone was kind of like, oh, yeah, what happened? And they're like, oh, yeah, Lucy kind of got injured. And they're like, all right, sit her and we're going to go for another game. I was like, are you serious right now? So out of like 20 people who were there that night, I think only like 4 or 5 of them actually kind of cared if I'm okay. Which, again, where's that balance with the sportsmanship? I was kind of surprised. This kind of threw me off. But yeah, I guess it depends on each person's like level of the balance.
Yeah, I mean, balance is a good word for that, because on one hand, I've run into situations where people get upset that that other players are trying hard. Like, why are you trying so hard? It's just a game. We get into the game. We want to try. We want to make it a competitive sport. We're here to show off our skills and kick a lot of butt. On the other hand, like, you're a person and you matter, and we can't get so caught up in the fantasy of being a Space Marine or a Laserball player or a Laserforce soldier, whatever your fantasy of choice is, that you forget that there's still a reality outside the game that matters more than the game itself. And I think that's an important distinction. People matter more than the game. I fundamentally stand by that. And we all have to find it in us a way to balance being competitive and trying to become better at the craft with caring about people adequately.
Yep.
So I appreciate you sharing that. I think it's a good, I think it's a good story for the community to hear about. How did you handle that going forward? Did you have to do anything about that?
About the injury?
Yeah, I mean, or more just like that people weren't checking up on
Oh,
you.
I'm a people person in general,
Mm,
so I kind of needed to let it go because I know that I cannot be friends with anyone. It took me a while to learn that. Even though I try, it's kind of like up to them how they want to handle it.
mm-hmm.
So I learned that. So I'm like, well, okay, for like the closest players or closest people to me, that they were asking and like, hey, I'm fine. Do you need anything? I'm like, yeah, I should be fine. A couple of ice cubes during the nights and not talking too much because the day after I actually had to work, and I came to work. I'm like, yeah, I don't think talking today will be a good idea. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, look at the incident report from yesterday. And they're like, oh my god, here's a slushy for you. Cool yourself down. So yeah, thankfully nothing happened. Nothing more what was happened. Sorry, was a heart.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, I learned from another friend of mine that sometimes it's better to not have expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, because you never know what people are expecting from you.
No, that's fair. I was literally about to ask you, like, so if somebody else in a different site were in a situation where they felt isolated from the other members or that they weren't being treated right or weren't accepted, what advice would you have from them? That
um,
managing expectations is part of
yeah,
it. You can't
yeah,
expect
yeah,
everyone to always be your friend, but at the same time, you deserve a certain level of respect and compassion as a
yeah.
person.
Yeah. And like again, thanks to Laserforce, I think I have a social life because up until then, I didn't have many friends. And even back home, thanks to Laserforce and like the laser community in general, um, well, I'm here. That's the first thing. I have friends all around the world. Um, and I've experienced so much, like from tournaments to just doing empty tour, which is a couple of days going around the Czech Republic playing lasers and hanging out together, and even not doing the laser stuff. For example, my best mate, she's found her partner thanks to Laser Force, and she's
Mm.
like, "Hey, I will forever be grateful to you." And I'm like, "That's the life, then that's Laser Force." So yeah, and kind of thanks to Laser Force, my dad was here as well, because if I didn't found the international community, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't see New Zealand. I wouldn't see Australia. Maybe at some point. Um, but I don't think my dad would go just by himself. Hey, I'm just gonna visit Australia. Nah, he came here because of me, and I showed him, thanks to Nets, all the incredible stuff that we experienced, and like going through it again was, I had tears in my eyes. So
Mm. Well, I appreciate that. That's definitely a big reason why I'm even doing this podcast, why I continued my SM5 journey. Again, people are more important in the game, but the game impacts people. It can at least
oh
be a
yeah.
venue for one, relationships, people building
Hmm.
friendships that are lifelong and deep with really cool people. But also, think about the kind of qualities we build playing this game at a competitive level. You have to learn, I mean, a lot of character, how to handle losses, how to be a good team player, how to be a good sport, how to believe in yourself, overcome imposter syndrome. I could go on and on. This
Yeah.
game builds really strong, cool people, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I would also add teamwork, because it
Mm-hmm.
took me a while to realize this as well. But I'm not a solo player. I'm more of a team player.
Mm.
Um, so I most of the time like play resupply. I enjoy playing resupply, um, even though I know that I can be easily eliminated from the game. But I like to support people. So I play support characters in SM5, in board games, in kind of everything. And yes, it sometimes hurts that people take you for granted.
Mm.
But on the other hand, you can then be like, all right, I haven't contributed with like, attacks or attack power, but I contributed with like boosting your lives or, boosting your stats, giving you the chance to regenerate and then, make a push or something like that. So,
That is that's a great topic I'd like to sidetrack into real quick.
sure.
We for the record, everyone, Lucy does some incredible art with arenas, with graphic design. I asked her to put together a little portfolio to show us on the
Yep.
channel. I want to move that to the end of the show. I do
Sure.
definitely want to make sure that happens. I want to kind of keep going into um, talking about SM5 and
Yep.
Nats 25 a bit. That is, I'm realizing one of my biggest shortcomings in terms of understanding SM5 throughout the years. I think there's been, and it's definitely not everybody. Maybe it's more prominent among 3-hit players, 3-hit mains. I don't know. That like the resupply is the last priority when it comes to building out a team, and they get really taken for granted. But legitimately, I'm trying to help coach the Loveland team a bit that's coming out to Nats this year.
Nice.
I'm replaying some of my lessons I've learned over my 10 years of playing tournaments. And I am able to specifically look at different situations where a resupply either made my team or broke my team that we couldn't have done really anything that we wanted to do without a good resupply, or a resupply not doing their job well absolutely screwed us. The resupply is, well, it's one of the 6 positions. Every position matters, but I think there is so much more to it that doesn't get shown on the scoreboard.
Yes.
You know, so as a resupply main, as you say, how do you go about enjoying playing your role despite the way that people view the role, despite the lack of recognition that you mentioned?
Um, I think that most of the time people don't realize that you that matter during the game. Most of the time when they're trying to push or defend, but after the game, if you debrief with them and they go to you and they're like, "Hey, thank you because that resupply that you gave me saved us or allowed us to do something else." Yes, when you get kicked out of your resupply spot or from some spot, you're the easiest target because one hit point, one shot power. Um, if you're running with your ammo as well, easy resets. And you're like, oh my God, please someone save me. But once you hide somewhere and you're actually able to survive until the end, which sometimes happens as well, because small people, small spaces, just constantly seeing,
Yeah, for
constantly
sure.
looking, getting ready. Then at the end of the game, you're like, huh, wait, I actually did something. Even when you get eliminated, I actually did something. No matter how I felt, at that point, once the game cool downs a bit, you can you go back through the steps in your head, and you're like, all right, so maybe this wasn't right, but I did this, and that was actually pretty cool. Another example: a couple of weeks ago, we were playing another training session. I think it was against Brisbane B, and I was a resupply with one of my teammates, and she was like, "Oh my God, you handled the resupply this time, and you kind of was able even to defend yourself pretty amazingly." I'm like, "Wait, I didn't even realize," and she was like, "Yep, I didn't want to mention it, but you did, and I'm
Mhm.
so proud of you." I'm like, well, okay. And even though when it's this one person, um, it can change how you viewed the game, how you felt the game. Can
Mhm.
definitely help you.
Yeah, it's such a vital role. I also think that it becomes more fun the more you get into the game and understand how important it is, and how much more it's it's more than just sitting in a corner at a high level. Low level scouts will meander about aimlessly, not knowing what to do with themselves. Low level medics will sit in a corner and just let the team tell them what to do. There's a lot more to the role when you know what you're doing. And
Yep.
I think it's really shown in the last few years that the highest level teams at any internationals have very competent and creative resupply on the back line. I especially want to shout out, my resupply Sergeant Tucker and Simply Okay from the last tournament. Thank you. If you watch the finals game,
Yeah.
that was some of the most vital and impressive resupply play I've ever seen. The way that they were able to, by themselves, stop 3 hits from breaking in
Yeah.
on them and pushing them back out. Uh, Imagine what would happen if they just ran away or they weren't able to do that. What would happen to the rest of the team? You know? So,
And I mean, if you're a resupply and you're able to, bounce those 3 hits away, that's one of the best feelings that you can have as
oh
well.
my gosh, it is such a dunk. And get out of here. Quit disrespecting me. Oh man, I'm running into that Azra, one of our players, coming out for Loveland. She's been playing a lot of ammo recently, not to give away anything. I don't know if she'll play that. Not giving away anything. But she has definitely reached a point now where beforehand I could walk over as a 3-hit, stand in her spot, and push her out because she wouldn't get the resets off. She has pretty much for the last 4 weeks shoved that back in my face and kept me down for 30, 45 seconds at a time. And I can no longer do that. She has escalated. I have to give the respect now and only go
Wow.
in when there's a nuke or she's already down.
Wow.
No, it's pretty great.
Nice.
So yes, just welcome to the new age, people. If you want to be a good SM5 team, you got to have really good resupply. Respect them, buy them lunch, thank them.
I mean, I'm kind of used to it, honestly. And yeah, it's a bit weird, but when you play support roles all the time, you get kind of used to it.
For sure.
Supports are the most underappreciated roles in everything.
In everything, you're right. I used to play League of Legends. I know there's lots of other games or Overwatch. Yeah, support just
Or
they get the
even a
short end of
board
the stick a
game.
lot. Or a board
Even a
game,
board
yeah.
game. We were playing Gloomhaven for a couple of months with my work colleagues. We were playing Joseph the Lion. I was playing Void Warden, which is the support character, so a bit weak. Kind of, needs to stick around with the characters. And in the final game, everyone just dashed off me. And I'm like, hey. And they're like, hey, you're the meat shield now. You stopped attacks. I'm like, but how the hell am I supposed to heal you? So yeah, it happens.
Absolutely. Okay, I need to ask you about NAS 25.
Sure.
So it's been 2 years since you moved to Brisbane, played in your last internationals. You are playing for one of the Brisbane teams. Rusty's made it pretty clear to me that this is not an ABC type of thing. These are 3 teams that were constructed, sounds like pretty organically. Can you tell me about your team? Who is it? How did it get formed?
So team captain is Troida. So shout out to Troy again. He will be shouted a lot tonight. And I don't think, I don't want it to sound a bit weird, but he was like, all right, so this is basically a team of all these and Lucy.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. So we have Troy, we have Pat, Adapatosaurus, one of the Brisbane's skill players as well. We have Scraps, we have Jeff Pax, Megan, we have Meow, or codename is Sexy Meow, Tish, and we have me. I'm from my point of view, I think the team chemistry is amazing. Again, I was kind of scared that I would be like, the one they put on the expectations for like being the youngest and, trying their best. But thankfully, we're kind of equal. Everyone's equal. Everyone matters. And I'm so grateful for that. We've been trying a lot of stuff lately. So we haven't found our positions yet. I'm not going to say anything about like what we're going to play,
No,
But
no,
I'm just
only
saying
share
that
what you're willing to share.
I'm just saying that we're experimenting what
Hmm.
kind of works, what doesn't work, what to do, what to avoid. But oh my god, such a journey with them, and like all of them have big heart, I would say. So I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to play Nets with them.
That's wonderful. It sounds like a really fun team to play on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't share anything that you're not willing to share,
Hmm.
just as that caveat. I totally get that. But this is the team that I've had the most questions about because I hardly know any of these players. And when I looked up all your code names, I've tried to comb through older tournaments that are on LF Stats to find these names. Because we're doing a power rankings show, so I'm trying to be really detailed as far as my research goes. This team has the oldest average age of when
Yep.
people started playing Laser Force. Even including you in that average, it's 1999 is the average year.
Wow. I wasn't even born at that year.
No, you started way later.
Yeah.
So a lot of these players had been much more prominent on the scene, I think, in like the early 2000s. And I'm so interested to find out like what it how, what does it do when you play and then you take an extended break? I'm talking potentially a decade. I don't know how long
Mm.
some of them have taken a break and then come back in. But it sounds like you guys have been practicing too. Like, so
Yeah.
is everybody back? Has everybody been practicing?
Yeah, we try our best to come down to Mondays because, league in general, but we're throwing in 3 practice games as well. I know we said that we're not gonna do it ABC, but team one, team two, team three playing each
Mm-hmm.
other. So team one playing team three, team one playing team two, and team two playing team three.
Mm-hmm.
So we can practice the Nets team stuff. But during the night, thanks to the randomizer, we play with each other as well on different positions.
Mm-hmm.
If we end up in the same team, we're like, all right, so this happened during the game. It might be kind of cool to use it during nets.
Mm-hmm.
Or, this happened, let's avoid it on net. So even playing regular SM5 helps. Not
Mm-hmm.
even just like, everyone in the team, but being separated and trying new stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. How long has everyone been practicing? When did the practices officially begin?
Um, I'm pretty sure that these practice games started, well, definitely a month ago. I think we started like end of May, beginning of June.
For sure.
Yeah.
I was really because I'm really wondering like if because I'm under the impression that 4 of your players really haven't been actively playing for a while. Am I correct in saying that? I don't want to make an active assumption. Really, everyone but
Mm,
you and Troy.
so Pat was playing during my time here as well.
Okay, okay.
Um, I mean, he could have missed some Mondays, but he tries his best to come as well if he's not busy. And Scraps was living outside Brisbane. I don't want to say like I don't remember where, so I'm
Hmm.
not gonna say where he lives. But he moved back to Brisbane. I think it was in October.
Okay,
So
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 he
he went.
literally moved back,
Yeah.
and that was part of why he wasn't playing anymore.
Yes. So he
Interesting.
started playing again in October.
Wow, that's amazing. And then the other two are, was it Jeff Pegs,
Jeff
and
Pax,
Meow?
Megan, and Meow. Meow. I don't know. I'm not the person to be asked about Meow because I first saw her. I think it was in May actually. I think
Hmm.
when the Nets thing started, and I'm like, all right, I haven't played with you before. We'll see how it goes. So
Hmm.
so that's when I saw her for the first time. And Megan, Jeff Pax, she's also playing most of the Mondays when she can. So
Absolutely. Okay. Um, I know Meow was playing with my buddy, the Fear Turkey, out in
mhm.
Brisbane in 2018. So, and she was in, or they were in tournaments before that, I know. Yeah, I just don't know. It's a lot of unknowns over here across the globe. And we're all very curious as to like who these players are, how they're going to show up at this tournament. We're obviously curious about lineups and what you guys are trying to work on. You don't got to share any of that. But what are the mentalities of these players coming in? You know, what's the team hoping to accomplish? How do people feel about this tournament?
We'll be back with the podcast in just a moment. Wanted to take a quick ad break to just let you know, please support the channel to join the fight against bullying and support our sponsors, relicsmerch.com, to get some awesome Laserforce swag. And with that, we'll be right back to the podcast. Thank you for listening.
Well, everyone's pretty hyped, I would say, to like show everyone that we have a saying in Czech that you don't belong in the old rusted scrapyard. So basically to show that. Because as you said, the team age average of ours is not that high. So yeah, show the people kind of, I don't want to say for the last time, but I kind of heard some, retirements after Nets. We'll see. I'm not going to confirm anything. I just heard. So show everyone that Brisbane can produce like good players and good teams, I would say. That's kind of like our hope.
Brisbane's been pretty good at that over the years.
And even though when you're like me, who's been playing something else for 5 years and then jumps into another world and playing it just for almost 2 years, you can see, well, I hope that people will see the improvement, because it will definitely be different than back at Nets in New Zealand.
What are you working on individually as a player to prepare for Nats?
Trying to watch some of the older footages from either your channel or the Resupply, listening to the podcast as well, because I think that experience is like the best teacher. So when you have someone telling you what they've experienced, what they went through, how they prepared, or how they see the thing, I think is the most useful helping tool for you. So even though when we're playing on Mondays, another shout out, Taipan. I love that guy. He's so good. I mean, sometimes in the game we can shout at each other, but after the game we debrief it together. I'm like, hey, sorry that I didn't show shoulder. That happened like 2 weeks ago. I was sniping him from the helm, and he literally after the third time he came in and he was like, darling, can you please show the shoulder? I'm like, all right, sorry. And after the game, I'm like, sorry, mate, I didn't realize that. He was like, no, it's fine. Just, keep that in mind and everything's fine. I'm like, oh, sorry. So this is kind of like my materials where I'm trying to get the stuff. My preparation is to play laser tag, learn the mace, basically try to figure out a plan, even when I'm playing standard games. I'm always like, all right, this could come in handy later. This could come in handy in this situation. You never know. And in order like physical preparation, I've been trying to take at least 10,000 steps a day since last August. And so far, I'm winning. Yes, there are some days where I'm like totally like, nah, not today. But if I can, I go out, take a walk to the city center, take a walk back, I'm done. For example, I'm working, just like today. I was working all day, and I'm currently at 15,000 steps.
Ooh, look at yeah, woo, a lot of
And
walking.
Also playing disc golf. That's another thing that helps as well. You take a lot of steps, and you don't even know about it.
Golf? Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's cool. Because physical prep is definitely helpful in a tournament.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like you're really excited. Your team's really gelling, and we're all really excited to see what becomes of it. Can I ask you a little about team number 2, as Rusty calls it, the anti-basal bots?
Oh yeah.
And by the way, if any of you are listening on that team, feel free to reach out. I'd love to interview one of you and hear about your team as well. But your boots on the ground, Lucy. Can you tell us a little about that team?
Young players, from my point of view, again, it's my opinion, my point of view. I might be wrong. This is how I see it. Some of them very aggressive play style,
Okay.
very fast, sometimes a bit dodgy with the rules. For
Okay.
example, just showing the phaser and not the shoulder again. So
Mm.
that was our most like call against them. Hey mate, you need to show it, and then like, hey, you're going too fast. But it's pretty interesting to watch them when I'm reffing, because we're also trying to ref as much as possible in order to help them keep the rules intact. Not because like watch them how they play, but helping them to maintain the rules.
They sound like an early Loveland team. And I can tell you from experience that once you get 12 refs in the arena at a Nats setting that are watching them like a hawk, it's going to become much more difficult to keep playing that way and adjusting.
Yeah.
And, position locks do become a thing if you're not trying to follow the rules.
Yep.
That's good feedback. I think even though it may be difficult to say on air, hey, that is good for them to be aware of and make sure they correct that.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Yeah, I recognize a couple names on there. I know Screever also played with my boy, the Fear Turkey, back in 2018. He seems like an incredibly good player.
He's
I'm
a great
excited
guy.
to watch that team. Thank you for sharing that. Before we move on to the art, because I want to save some time for that, at the end of the day, what are you most excited for this upcoming tournament?
Oh, seeing the people again, definitely.
Yeah.
I miss them. I miss like everyone who I last saw in New Zealand, and I'm so looking forward to see them. Looking forward to see people who I haven't seen before, such as Than, because I've been chatting with Than for a while, but I haven't actually seen
You
him
haven't
in
actually
the
met
flesh.
him. That's right.
And like for the time together, because oh my god, it's gonna be such a good week.
Yeah, you know what? We can punch Than in the gut right here by just reminding him that he didn't attend Nats 23, and it was an amazing time. He really
yeah,
should have
where's
been
Than?
there. Yeah, where's Than? My goodness.
That was such a great running joke.
He's giving us 2 middle fingers right now, one each.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Lucy. So you're an artist. Tell us about that. How did you get started in that world?
So I was always spending my time with a pencil in my hand most of the time back home. From a young age, I was always like, oh, I want to draw, or I want to, do the coloring books. And I don't know about your school system, how you have it, but our school system is that you have elementary school divided into like the lower classes and the higher classes. So lower classes are like 1st to 5th grade, and then 6th to 9th grade is like the higher one. And at the end of 9th grade, you need to decide which high school, or we call it high school, which high school you will attend with like focus. So you can focus on cooking, you can focus on that's too early. Just trying to figure out which else. But basically, you can
I think I've
choose
heard
what
of
you can
that.
focus.
There's like construction focuses, or
Yes.
more education route, or more. Yeah, I get what you mean.
And I chose an art school because, again, I was most of the time just scribbling around my books, always carrying at least 3 like blocks where I was drawing my art. And I was like, all right, at home, I was like, all right, I just want to study, art school. And thank God my parents are very supportive. So they're like, all right, if that's what you want to do, go for it. So I went to study graphic design as a high school. So another 4 years after that. During that time, I kind of stumbled back to laser tag because at the end of the 9th grade, we won Clash of the Classes. We had like a school's competition, and whoever wants gets to play laser tag at the end of the year as a reward. So I knew that laser tag existed at that point, but going to high school, I'm like, oh yeah, it existed, and that was it. But then at some point, my friends messaged me if I want to play with them. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Why not? I mean, I played it before. So we went 2 times in a month, basically. So every second week. And at that point, I was like, all right, I should get a membership at this point. So I got my membership. And like a week later, another friend, hey, we need an extra person because our regular player in the competition, he's not able to. I'm like, Mom, can I go? And I'm like, yeah, if you'll be back home at this time, yeah, sure you go. So I go into the community and I was like, oh, I'm an artist, I study graphic design. And the arena owner kind of reached out to me and he was like, all right, I have some ideas, how you could help me with decorating the maze. Would you like to? I was like, yes. So I started kind of, trial and error. I was given sprays of UV paints and I just started doing something. Then later at some point, I started working there as well. So it was kind of like half painting, half working. It went hand in hand. And this kind of got me deeper in the Czech Laserforce community as well, because I think it might be more, it might be less, but I think it's definitely more. At this point, we have at least 12 sites in Czech Republic, which is wild.
That's a lot of sites in a condensed area.
Yeah, and I haven't stayed within my own that's a big word, within my home site, but I also helped to paint at a couple of different sites, or I helped them with something else. So this is kind of how the painting journey started, and I also created like a logo and a membership card for my home maze. That's better. I don't own it.
No, that is so awesome. We've gotten to hear about your art. Sorry, I've gotten to hear about your art, but not actually see it. And so I asked you to prepare some stuff to show us. Would you mind sharing your screen?
Sure. Let's see what it's gonna do.
And as a note, by the way, we are going to talk about. I'm going to be talking with some people from the Czech Republic in the future. Wait until after Nats. But oh my gosh, the scene out there in Europe in general, but the Czech Republic specifically. And I think Tomik's even going to be coming out to Nats. So that's pretty
he's
cool.
coming. He's
like
coming.
That's really cool.
So cool.
Yeah, I need to give them some attention for sure. I want to hear all about what's going on over there.
All right. So it's gonna be a bit scrambled around because I don't know why it's like that, but we're gonna go through it.
Yeah, no worries. And if you're listening, by the way, you're not on YouTube. You're gonna want to get on YouTube for this part.
Oh yeah, you should definitely.
But we may vaguely describe what we're looking at if you're not.
All right. So this is actually from Auckland. This is one of my biggest murals. And I call this the Space Marine group shot. This is actually under the UV light, and it's in such a weird narrow corridor that's kind of hard to take a picture of it. And I'm pretty sure I will have a video of it later at some point. But this is kind of how it looks under UV light. And this is me next to the scout, and kind of did the scout to represent me. So it's a female scout.
Ooh, cool. I see the pose.
This is another thing that we're still in Auckland. So this is another thing in Auckland. Because I kind of crowned, I would say, one of the parts of the arena to the lab. So there's like a big android, which is, being kept alive.
Very cool.
Again, this is going to be...
That previous one looked like Mewtwo from the Pokemon movie, all hooked up to the machine. Like that's pretty sick. Where's that in the Auckland arena?
Um, do you remember where the very first beacon was if you went right?
When you first enter the arena?
Yes, and
Yeah,
you go right, and there was like the very first beacon.
I think so. There was a lot of little nooks and crannies or hallways around that area. Is it by where you can look through the window and see into the arena?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
All right, and just as I said, because the pictures are a bit weirdly scrambled, this
Isn't
is
that a
actually
kangaroo?
that's supposed to be a llama.
A llama? I love it.
So this is at my home site because our owner's name is actually code name is Llama.
Okay.
So I then kind of created the mascot of Llama, and I was using it in many art projects, including our arena. And since part of the graphic design course or school was also digital photography, I started taking some cool pictures of myself inside the maze, which we'll come across later as well.
Okay.
But I really like this one, like following a llama. Uh,
No, that's
then
really
it's
cool. I love your use of black light versus non-black light, especially with that one. That one's sick. That's a alien
yeah, I painted that one as well.
xenomorph.
That's in part of the arena which we call the jungle. So I don't want to say accidentally, but I kind of split it the whole maze into 4 parts, which one of them was a jungle, which will be this next one. So
Hmm.
there's a base inside kind of the V. There's a base. So that's a jungle. Then we have like Among Us style part of the arena. So I actually painted the tasks on the wall. Then we had like a cyberpunk-ish. So there will be a picture of Johnny Silverhand at some point as well. And the 4th one was like arcade/video games in general. I didn't really came up with the name for the last 2, but the Among Us and the jungle. That was easy. So this one actually points into the electric room of Among Us.
Okay.
And yeah, we're back in Auckland. Like as I said, it's gonna
Mhm,
be
mhm.
a bit funny. So this is look at the Space Marines group shot from the left, so you can see the heavy scout and the medic itself as well. I also hit a couple of Easter eggs into that one, so you can see the resupply logo.
Oh, you're right. It's right there. That's awesome. I
So the
bet
ammo,
D&D loves that.
yeah, I think I actually made a joke about this because the resupply is talking to his resupply and thinking about resupply.
Hmm. That's a good
And
pun.
this is a look at it from the other side. There's one hidden thing, and that's like the three color stripes in his helmet, which is a nod to my Warhammer plays back home because
Okay.
Space Marines. So yeah, I like to hide references and Easter eggs to my art, which this one has as well. That's again back in Pilsen at my home site. He has the side logo on his shoulder. He has, the Laserforce phaser, the Laserforce front of the suit as well, the Laserforce lightning. This is what I love to do. I like to recreate Space Marines from Warhammer and actually draw them with phasers and the suits kind of integrated. The Laserforce suits integrated into the power armor that they're wearing.
Yeah, I have to imagine that Space Marines 5 is inspired by Warhammer
Yeah.
somewhat. At least we stole the name for sure. Wait, before we move on, how long did that last one take you? Like, how long does it take to make one of these characters from start to finish?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't done a wall art since I left Auckland, simply because there's kind of no time. Well, let me say it differently. There is a time, but there's not a time when the arena is empty.
Mm-hmm.
So you will be having time to paint.
Right, you had like COVID times to paint one of your arenas, and
Yeah.
they gave you some time in Auckland as well. Fair enough.
And also there were some projects planned, but they got cancelled. One of them was painting like window covers with space theme and like armory theme, but because we had a fire a couple of months ago, thankfully, arena is fine. It was just that one of our toilets kind of burned down. I don't want to go to details, but
For
everything's
sure. And
fine
we gotta
now.
keep moving anyway.
um, that got scrapped,
Ooh.
but I still want to create art at the Brisbane side, because that's another thing on my Laserforce bucket list.
Mm-hmm. Well, that
Uh,
logo is awesome.
Resupply logo. That was my thank you to the guys that they had me on podcast, which today is the day when I was first on the podcast 4 years ago. So today's the
Ooh.
anniversary when I first entered the international community.
Let's go.
Little Mando next to the men's locker room. Oh,
Mhm.
Doomslayer. That's one of my favorite works. It took me
Wow.
40 hours to put it together, mostly because I was repainting the greens all over again.
I love the detail on the sword. Like all the
Yep.
runes. Yeah, that's sick.
The first two runes, the left one is actually my initials.
I see
and
it. Way,
and the
way to
right
go.
one is actually the logo of our side as well. So again, hiding references.
Oh, I love that.
Cyberpunk part of our arena. So we had the big samurai. It's not red, it's green because green target. Yeah, this was part of me painting the monk side part of the arena, and I literally left a mark in there. So yeah, that's my handprint.
Very cool.
This is one of my favorite pieces as well, the task about destroying the asteroids. It looks so cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is in the women locker room. Tracer.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah, here's Johnny.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Silverhand.
Oh, Johnny Silverhands. It looks like
Sorry.
Johnny Depp a little bit.
No. It's supposed to be Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk. Kakuriman, he's basically above the Doomslayer.
Okay, now I see. I'm Google imaging.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's Keanu Reeves.
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
got it.
We used to have VR at
Oh,
the
that
home
one's
side as well.
sick.
So I painted the super hot VR, well, with broken VR set and phaser in his hand.
Right. Mm.
This is back in Auckland. If you remember the little hiding spots where you could duck and go inside, so I hid a prisoner in there as well.
Oh, that's cool. Like on the first floor?
Yes.
Cool.
Another Space Marine in Auckland. And again, as you see, phaser, chest piece, and the shoulders as well. And the Laserforce logo. Again, references in Auckland. So there was the big, like wallboard head. Then there was the Jar Jar, if you remember it.
Oh my gosh, I remember Jar Jar.
And the third one is supposed to be the android that I painted in there. And this is actually upstairs, near the nest. And again, references, because why not?
That's creative. And it kind of begins to create a story or some
Yeah.
lore within the arena.
Oh yeah, this is upstairs, basically next to the nest. I created it like a crashed cockpit.
Love that.
And then there's a corridor and crashed cockpit from the other side.
Now I want to go back to Auckland so badly. I was so upset at you because you did all this right after the tournament after I left. It's not easy to get out to New Zealand, you know.
I know.
You know.
So yeah, because they kind of give me freedom with all the stuff, except the group shop of the Space Marines. I'm like, yeah, sure. This is the beacon which I was talking about. So literally next to the beacon is the android.
Oh, the 5 wires go back there, don't they?
Yes,
Or the
pretty
5
sure.
wires from the Android, are they connected to the 5 symbols there? No,
I haven't
there's
think
6.
about it, but I haven't think about it before. But it can actually be used. Oh my god! Now you created a story as well.
Boom.
Nah, but what I painted there is like the beacons power ups that you can get,
Mhm.
and also laser ball. It can be used as a goal for laser ball,
Very cool.
and then just a random tank of jellyfish, and this is a random specimen of some species. So on the left there should be insects, on the right there should be like plants, and another hidden detail 46 and Laserforce logo. Yeah, this is how the Doomslayer is big. So my height is 162 centimeters approximately.
Mhm.
So
It's a
yeah,
tall painting, yeah.
it's a big guy. I might just need to change a window. So I'm just gonna change a
Go ahead.
window.
Thankfully,
So
this Video Ninja is so easy to use.
yeah. I actually have the video here. Okay, so we're looking for this thing, maybe. Work with me, please. But yeah, this was basically like the wall art in general that I have done so far. I've kind of picked the highlights because if I showed you everything, we would be here for a while.
No, for sure. I appreciate that.
But this is how it looks.
Oh, I'm not seeing anything just yet.
God damn it.
Gotta share
You
your
don't see
screen.
it. God damn. It's fine. My bad.
All good, all good.
How about now?
Whoa. You had it for a second. Sorry, technical difficulties, everybody. Let's see.
You see it now?
No, did you click share your screen?
Yes, I did. All right. I'm going to share the whole screen. That
Let's
might
see.
work now.
Yeah. Give it a shot. Nope, sorry, still nothing. I'm so sorry, folks. So sorry, Lucy.
I am sorry as well.
I thought
God
this
damn
was
it.
easy.
All right, then I'm not gonna show the video. Sorry, guys. But the video is on my Facebook page. So I also have a Facebook page, which is my codename, Lucidun, and I share stories like
How about, can you send me the
Laserforce.
link real quick?
Yeah, sure. So it's just like my Laserforce stories in general. So what had happened, at work, what's like a Laserforce story connected to mine. I'm just gonna send you the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there should be a video. I just don't know where. But there is a video.
Oh yeah, you got a whole Facebook here. Let's
Yeah.
see. Well, I'll just share my screen really quickly. I do need to wrap up in a few minutes here, but we can.
Okay.
No, you're okay. I can take a look at this for a few though. Everyone can see.
Then
I've got a Facebook message. I'm selling a kayak on Facebook, so that's probably what it is.
But yeah, this is like that's another piece of art that I was gonna talk about a bit later. But
I love that.
did piece for Tivia, the dingo.
I love that. Very cool. There's you with some art and your players.
And my colleagues. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you or our listeners, our friends, want to follow my journeys, this is the place, because I put a lot of stories from work or from playing in there. It's sometimes funny to read it back after a while, what happened.
No, this is very detailed. I'm glad we're having a chance to share this page, actually.
I appreciate it as well.
I'm not seeing the video, but
a bit lower. That was your podcast as well.
yeah, you were on Tivia's podcast. That's cool. Very nice.
Almost there.
Ooh, that's cool. Is that it?
That's not the video, but this is like how the thing, the mugshot or group shot was created, basically.
That's cool. You
So
can even see
the
your
original
process
picture,
of.
The original picture is me and a bunch of players from Stardom's site, and I kind of took it as an inspiration.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay, is this it?
Some time lapses. It's
Some
still not the
time-lapse.
video. This is the one.
This is the one? Oh, okay, yeah. All right, let's see. We can do sound on. You should be able to hear that.
You don't need to.
No sound?
Nah, you don't need to. It's just a random soundtrack that I was listening to. But yeah, this was attempt to, make a detailed thing of the group shot.
Lucy, it is absolutely brilliant. Well done. So,
yeah.
okay, that's a great note to end on, honestly. Guys,
Okay.
if you so we can plug this here. This is Lucy's Facebook page, Lucidun. I'm following, of course. And she also has a YouTube channel. I think it's the same code name.
Yeah,
And
Lucidun.
you'll be able to tell by the artwork on the profile picture. But anything else that you want to plug for your listeners? Or for the listeners here?
Well, thank you for listening. That's first thing. Thanks to everyone who's part of my journey and who's part of the Laserforce community as well, because there are like some high points and some low points when you're like, all right, I'm alone technically on the other side of the world, and the only family I have is the Laserforce family. And even though, I have the colleagues family at Laserforce and I have the players family all around the world, and I don't think I would be able to do it, like, take a leap to the other side of the world without the Laserforce family. So thank you for being part of my Lasers journey. Thank you, Luke, for being part of my Lasers journey as well. And I was happy to be a guest.
Thank you so much for being a guest. And thanks for all you do for the Laserforce community. Your passion and your sportsmanship, and I think you bring a lot. And you are a great example of somebody who takes the Laserforce community, embraces it, and makes something even better out of it by contributing. So thanks for all you do. It was really a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
So please support our show and the fight against bullying by giving to our Patreon. If you want to be part of our Laserforce community, join our LF Tournament Discord and look to attend a Laserforce tournament event. If you want to be a guest on this podcast, find one of our episodes under the podcast forum and leave a comment. That's game over, everybody, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to ForceProSports. Subscribe to the channel and get cool perks by supporting our Patreon. Play Laserforce and become part of this era's next great sport.